Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Witch Hunter, which is currently on GameFound, another game from Gabe Barrett's Solo Game of the Month series. And as always, I take no money from publishers. I just want to show you the game and let you make an informed decision. But also, Gabe is publishing Peter and Mai's first game design, Salvation Road, in a new package as part of this series, so I do have a minor connection to the company. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So I already covered the other game that's in this GameFound campaign, which is Awaken the Ancients. I love that one. Full stop. I think it is excellent, even though I think Witch Hunter is going to get the majority of the focus since it's the main game for this month. That is just an excellent, excellent solo puzzly game. But this one is basically, and they aren't really hiding this fact, basically Marvel Champions. Great game design, and this one is doing a very similar thing where you have a hero with unique cards to them. You are discarding cards from your hand to play other cards. You are facing off against a boss. That boss is adding like negative stuff, a threat, and you need to manage that. So tons of similarities to Marvel Champions, but this is in a very clearly inspired by the Witcher world. So in this playthrough, I'm going to be playing as Liza, who is definitely not Ciri, but you can also play as not Geralt, I guess that's Yennefer, and I'm not really sure who this is supposed to be, but not him. Is that like Dandelion? I don't know. But so you pick a hero, and you're going to have 10 cards from them, but then you also pick an aspect, and that'll give you 10 more cards. You can kind of combo them together. Although in this case, I'm making things easy for me and using the recommended aspect Silent Tactician for Liza, which combos very well with her core abilities. You also pick which location you want to be in. I'm doing the most basic one, Ravenbrook Village, but there are two other ones that were in my prototype. And then you pick which boss you want to go against, and you can go on their hard side or their normal side. I'm trying normal. This is the Bride of the Frostmoon, one of two bosses that were sent in the prototype. And I just want to emphasize this is a prototype. There are some things still in development and being balanced. In fact, the designer sent me a minor rules change just a couple days ago that I'll be reflecting in this playthrough that like slightly changes how a few of the cards in the encounter deck work. So yeah, it's not 100% balanced and done yet, but it's pretty close and it plays very well. And yeah, we'll just kind of jump in and I'll talk you through how a round goes. It's a pretty straightforward game. And we'll see if I can defeat the Bride of the Frostmoon. Because yeah, what I need to do is do 30 damage to her before she can do 10 damage to me, or before 13 threat, the skull here, can accumulate on the village. But also many locations have the stipulation, you'll see it down here, that the boss's health cannot go below 1 unless this card is flipped. So I need to do whatever the village says. In this case, it is removing threat in a given round. Enough times to flip it. When I do that, this one's nice. It'll deal 8 damage to the boss, and then I can actually finish her off. But so let's jump in and see how things work. So I start with a 5-card hand, and let's go through what's going on with these. Freeze on that one. This is from the Silent Tactician aspect. The one in the upper left-hand corner is the cost of the card, and that is in other cards I need to discard. Again, same as Marvel Champions. Okay, and then this one is a reaction defense card. So I play this when I'm being attacked, usually during the boss's turn. And it said, or in this case, when the boss adds terror, I get to deal 2 damage to the boss and draw 1 card. Pretty cool. Then I've got one of Liza's cards here. An attack, Twin Blink Slash, also costs 1. I deal 3 damage divided among up to 2 enemies. And if I discarded a card this turn, I deal 4 damage instead. Liza's automatic action on her card lets you discard and benefit from doing it. And that's what both this aspect and this character's deck are focused on, discard powers. Then I've got a free ability, Razormine Gambit, although of course you're playing the cards, so you still lose 1 card from your hand. Discard up to 3 cards. For each card discarded, I choose a different option, dealing 3 damage, removing 1 terror, defeating 1 minion, or drawing 1 card. And then I got another reaction, Phase Veil. When an enemy attacks you, prevent 2 damage and draw 1 card. And finally, Time Echo. Play a card from your discard pile, paying its cost. Okay, I'm in to look at Liza. She's got 10 life. Her Hunter passive ability, each character has one of these, is Temporal Shift. At the end of my turn, if I discarded a card this turn, my hand size is +1, so I'll draw to 6 cards instead of 5. And then my Hunter action is, once per round, I can discard a card to prevent 1 damage, or add +1 damage to an attack. So if I don't have any other way to discard a card and benefit from my Temporal Shift, then I can use that. And I'm just using little white cubes here to mark which ones I've done. And here, let's also look at the village. I mentioned this a little bit. So it says each time you remove 2 terror in a turn, although you can only do this once per turn, increase the resistance track. That's that track at the upper left. When the token reaches the end, the villagers resist. I deal 8 damage to the boss, and I flip this card, although that can't kill the boss because until this card is flipped, we can't actually bring him down to below 1. And in the upper right, it shows that every round we're going to add one terror to this card. And if it gets 13, we lose. And I'll show you what's going on with the boss in just a moment. All right, so a lot of these are reactions to things that might not happen. So I think I'm just going to discard most of them. And then we try to fire off Twin Blink Slash. So I'm going to play Razor Mind Gambit. So I can discard up to 3 other cards. I don't really need Time Echo. I don't really need... Actually, I'm going to discard everything except Twin Blink Slash. Oh, no. There's no point in me discarding 3 cards because only 2 of the effects I can currently use. So I guess I'll keep this one that's a defensive, like, blocking damage one. So I've discarded 2 cards, and I'm going to pick to deal 3 damage and to draw 1 card. 3 damage will be on the Bride, of course. She can bring out minions, but at the moment she doesn't have any, so that's a 10th of her life. I get to draw another card. Knife Between the Ribs. Attack and deal 3 damage. If you discard a card this turn, deal 5 damage instead. So I could discard both the cards left in my hand to pay for that. Oh, sorry, this is gone. There are a few cards that are attachments and stick around, but generally you just discard a card after you use it. But I mean, Twin Blink Slash will do 4 damage, nearly as much, and it'll let me keep the Phase Veil in case I get attacked my turn. So yeah, I'm going to do that. It's going to play Twin Blink Slash, paying with Knife Between the Ribs. I deal 3 damage divided between up to 2 enemies, or 4 if I did damage, so 4 to her. So 7 out of 30, not too bad, although I don't have anything to remove Threat or Terror from yet to actually advance that. And I'll stop and keep Phase Veil. I mean, it's a nice card. It replaces itself and just prevents damage, and I don't have a lot of life. Oh, and I did, here, let's move a card to remind me. I did use, I'm going to benefit from Temporal Shift because I discarded at least 1 card this turn. So at the end of my turn, I draw back to 5 cards, or because of Temporal Shift, 6 cards. All right. And none of these are reactions, so I'll show you them at the beginning of my next turn, but we do have Phase Veil in case we get hit. All right, now we go to the boss's turn. So first, we add 1 terror to the village. Then we do any abilities that are at the beginning of the boss's turn. Then we're going to draw an encounter card. Then we do end of the boss's turn, and then minions attack. But let's see what's going on with the boss. So there's the Bride of the Frost Moon. She's got 30 life on her basic side. Her basic attack damage is 3 if she flips a card that has the attack symbol. It's not an automatic thing. Her special ability is Ice Entropy. Whenever the boss terrorizes, I add ice to the ice track. So each boss has a different track equal to the terror added. And then whenever I remove terror from anywhere, including from the village, I remove ice as well. So she can get up to 5 ice. And then you have cumulative abilities for how much ice is on the track. If it's 1 to 2, I have -1 hand size. So I would only draw up to 5 cards my next turn, or I guess 4 if I didn't use my temporal shift. Then if it goes to 3 to 4, additionally reduce damage to the boss by 1, minimum 1. And then if you're all the way to 5, Fimbulwinter, maybe, +1 terror whenever terror is added to the town by the automatic effect, by any effects from the cards in the boss's deck. Can get pretty nasty. All right, so here we go. Let's flip her card. So she flips only 1 card right now. Some bosses can accelerate that. And just like my deck, half of these cards are unique to her, half are basic. Oh, he's got a basic boss attacks. Oh, this worked out great because I saved the Phase Veil. So when enemy attacks, she would be doing her basic 3 damage to me here, but I'm going to block 2 of it. So I still have 9 life left, which is much better than 7. And then I get to draw a replacement card. Heck yeah. Okay, and then if she had any end of turn powers, she would use them. This was actually very nice. She didn't even get any ice. And no minions came out to attack me, so yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's get back into another turn for Liza. Let's see how many new fun things. We've got Warp Step, which costs 0. I draw 2 cards. Then I can discard 1 card from my hand or remove 1 terror. That's pretty awesome. Sabotage Ritual costs 2. Remove 2 terror or 2 tokens from the boss track. So like I can remove or move down the ice 2. If I discard this turn, remove 3 instead. Runic Focus. This one's amazing. It's an attachment, so it stays in play. When I discard the first card each turn, draw 1 card and remove 1 terror. Wow. Oh, geez, and another attachment, Vantage Point. The first time you discard a card each round, draw 1 card. If you discarded 2+ cards this round, boss attacks this round, deal -1 damage. It's kind of ridiculous, y'all. And Flicker Strike, deal 2 damage to each enemy. If you discard a card this turn, deal 3 damage instead. Finally, Unravel Fate. Remove it to 2 terror. You may discard 1 card to also deal 3 damage. Now, I can only move this resistance track when there's 2+ terror to remove, which there is not currently. So I kind of don't want to remove the 1 terror so I can guarantee being able to advance this because I can do all the damage in the world, and if the village doesn't get scared enough, I can't actually win. So kind of feel like I should just play the 2 attachments. And then, although I don't want to remove 1 terror, Oh, actually, I forgot. Every time you go through the Hunter's deck and you have to reshuffle, you add 1 terror to the town. So maybe I could draw so many cards from powers that I get a second terror. That could potentially work. Well, either way, let's go ahead and do Runic Focus for 2 cards. I mean, I don't really care about any of these in particular at the moment. You'll reposition the cards a little bit. And most characters will only have like 2 or 3 attachments total. So should I use Warp Step to draw more? Sure. So I'll spend this. I can draw 2 cards, and I can discard a card to remove 1 terror, which I don't know if I want to do yet. Okay, Phantom Cut. Deal 3 damage. I can discard a card to deal 6 damage instead. Jeez. Cards are so powerful. Shadow Footwork. Avoid all damage from an attack. Discard 1 card to remove up to 2 terror. Well, these are good. But for now, I'm going to... You know what I'll do? I will play Vantage Point for Phantom Cut and Sabotage Ritual. I'll keep the defense card in my hand. I'm not going to discard stuff because I don't want to get rid of that, even though it would let me draw multiple cards and get more things from Temporal Shift. Is this dumb? It's fine. We're going to let it go. So I'm just going to draw to 5 cards because I didn't increase my hand size. I do still have Blink Step to reduce 1 damage if I want to. My deck is almost out, by the way, so almost getting an automatic threat. And okay, we'll see how things go. So we get an automatic threat in the village. Yay! And we get an encounter card, which is another attack, really. All right, what do I want to do? So the only block I have is this one. Avoid all damage from an attack, and then discard 1 card to remove up to 2 terror. Oh, so I guess that would count as removing 2 terror in a turn, so that would do that. Okay, so sure. Oh, and I guess this is still this round, so I'll get to get the bonus from both of these. And then when my turn starts, it'll be a new round, and I can get the bonus from them again. I think that's how that works. So I'll do Shadow Footwork. So I will pay 2. Let's see what my options are. Okay, Rolling Feint. After the boss attacks you, discard a card. You take another card from your discard pile back to your hand, and it's free. Flash Recovery. This one's great. Heal 2, and if you discarded this card, heal 3 instead and deal 3 damage. Wow. Throwing Knife Volley. Deal 1 damage to up to 3 enemies. If you discard a card this turn, deal 2 instead. And then Shift Stance. Gain a coin, and the next attack you play this turn costs 0 and gains +2 damage. And coins are this generic resource. Some characters get them way easier than others. Liza is not a coin-heavy character. And you can use them whenever you are getting rid of terror or dealing damage to add +1 to the effect. So pretty nice thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I care that much, and certainly the Knife Volley doesn't matter, so I'll get rid of both of those to pay for Shadow Footwork. So I avoid all damage from the attack. And then I can discard a card. I guess I'll get rid of the Rolling Feint to also move up to 2 terror, which moves the village track up for the first time. And yeah, I blocked all of her damage. And because I discarded the card for the first time my turn, I can draw a card and remove a terror. Well, that part doesn't help. And then the first time you discard a card each turn, I can draw a card. All right, so cool. I'm only at 3 cards for my turn, but if I can discard another one in a second, I'll have more. And yeah, that was the end of the boss's turn, so they didn't accomplish much. So we're going back into me. Let's see what our new options are. Okay, Quick Step Prep. Draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card from your hand. If you discard a Silent Tactician card, gain 2 coins. That's fabulous. Or Sleight of Hand. This is similar to the other one. Discard up to 2 cards. For each card discarded, I can either deal 3 damage, remove 1 terror, or gain 2 coins. All right, so I think I'm going to play Quick Step Prep. My deck is empty, so I am adding 1 threat to the village as I reshuffle. So I draw 2 cards, and I'm discarding 1. When the boss adds terror, deal damage to the boss. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to predict if that's going to happen. Okay, because I drew 1, I will go ahead and draw a card from Runic Focus. I guess I have to remove 1 terror. I know that seems silly to not want to, but I want to, again, let it build up so I can remove 2 in a single turn. And then I also get to draw another card from Vantage Point. So, wow. I got a whole hand to work with now. What have I got? I've got the healing one. I've got the sleight of hand one. I've got Sabotage, Warp Step to draw more cards, and Time Echo to play a card from the discard pile. I didn't really get any fighting things, though, did I? Well, let's use Warp Step to draw 2 more cards, then. I'm not going to discard one. Okay, here we go. Phantom Cut will let me discard a card to deal 6 damage. Oh, and then I got the Razormine Gambit or the Sleight of Hand to deal some more damage. Yeah, let's try to beat up people this turn. So let's do Phantom Cut first. And let's get rid of 2 of the ones that I'm not thinking of playing. So that does 6 damage because I discarded at least 1 card. Gets the boss to 13. Then I'm actually going to use Sleight of Hand and discard the other 2 cards. That'll let me deal 3 damage and gain 2 coins for the future. Seems pretty great. All right, and then I definitely discarded cards, so I get to draw 6. And we're good to go. Let's see if the boss can actually make something happen here. I mean, I kind of want them to, so I can do more. Frost Trap. Okay, this is actually kind of good. So it's a permanent card. It just sits around until I get rid of it. It starts with Terror, and if I remove all the Terror, it is taken away. And it says Terror must be removed before removing Terror from the town. And this was the one that Cole, the designer, said they were playing with changing. These cards used to let you draw another card, but he was saying instead they should add an extra token. So that would mean that we get 2 tokens because 2 terror is being added. Or no, I guess maybe not. When this boss terrorizes, which yeah, is like a very specific card. So never mind. But it does mean that we get 1 token. So if I don't get rid of any terror, my hand size will be -1, although I don't think it applies right now. I mean, honestly, it seems a little weird in this case because the frost track is a little bit weaker and easier to raise up. With the other boss, where it's very hard for them to get tokens, I think having tokens instead of drawing a card is better. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, just to make things harder, because I'm kind of going to kill this boss pretty easily at the moment, I'm going to still do it as draw another card and ignore what Cole told me, just because it doesn't seem right for this boss. Oh, and here we go. The boss terrorizes. Add 2 terror to the town, which is also going to add 2 to the ice track. And I can't remove that terror from the town unless the frost trap goes away. Yay! Okay, now I have lots of things to de-terrorize, so I can actually try to win the game here. All right, so I got Knife Between Ribs. I've got a reaction, defense if the boss attacks, which they haven't. I can throw... There we go. I was looking for something that removed terror. So Unravel Fate. Remove up to 2 terror. I can discard a card to also deal 3 damage. Heck yeah, I will. So let's play that. And I need to discard something. I still don't need the Knife Volley. There's no minions yet. So I can move up to 2 terror. So we'll get rid of the Frost Trap. And that also brings the ice back down because every time I get rid of terror from anywhere. That also moves the town 1 closer. Then I can discard another card to deal 3 damage. Knife Between the Ribs does a ton of damage, so I don't want to do that. Twin Blink Slash is pretty good. I don't need this really expensive defensive one, I think. I'm kicking butt here. So that does 3 damage. And I could use my coins to deal 2 more, but we'll wait for a killing blow for that, I think. So they only have 11 life left. It seems like it's going to be pretty easy. And I discarded a card, so I can get rid of 1 terror, might as well. Although, again, I can't advance this a second time. And I get to draw a card, and I get to draw another card. Ooh, let's go hard here. Okay, I'm going to play Shift Stance for 1. And we'll get rid of Rolling Feint to pay for it. Let's me gain a coin. Okay, and then the next, and I think the max you can have is 3. The next attack I play this turn costs 0 and gains 2 damage. So let's go ahead and play Knife Between the Ribs. It costs 0. And because I discarded a card, it's dealing 5 damage. And now it's doing 7 damage. And what the heck? Let's go ahead and spend 3 coins to make it do 10 damage. So now they're at 29. Which means actually there's like no reason for me to do anything else because I can't finish them off. So I'll just chill and then I'll get rid of that next turn and win. So I did discard. I am reshuffling. So I'm going to add another threat to her, terror here. And all right, got lots of fun options. So let's see what she's doing. She's adding another threat here. 4 out of 13. And she's doing another Frost Trap. Again, we'll go ahead and play that she draws again. And we got an Ice Giant. Here's a minion. These guys are pretty cool. So they do 2 attacks. This is going to be at the end of each boss turn they automatically attack. That skull value is how much terror they automatically add to the village, if there is any. In this case, no. And then how much damage they need to take to be defeated. Some minions will also block for the boss. So this one does not, which is sad for him. So this one says, increase the ice track if the Ice Giant successfully attacks and deals damage. Okay, so he is attacking for 2. And do I have a block? Here we go. Phase Veil. I know I was saying that. When an enemy attacks you, prevent 2 damage and draw 1 card, which means we do not increase threat on the base either. All right, crud. Did I not? Did I not get any cards that give me threat reduction? Okay. Well, here I'll do Quick Step Prep. So I got to pay 1. I don't really need like any big expensive attacks. So that will let me draw 2 cards, and then I discard 1 card from my hand, and if I do a Silent Tactician card, I get 2 coins. So sure, let's get rid of that one. All right, good. Now I got Sabotage Ritual. Oh, sorry, and I discarded a card, so I get to draw a card and remove a terror, so I only need to remove 1 more. Oh, and I can actually remove a second terror with a coin. So we are immediately advancing the resistance track. So it would deal 8 damage to the boss, but they're already at 1 life, and they can't be dead yet. And then it flips to its nice side. The terror remains, but now we can actually kill the boss. Okay, an advantage point would also let me draw a card. And yeah, now we can just kill anybody in whatever way we like. Here, we'll do a Twin Blink Slash. We're doing 4 damage since the card was discarded this turn, divided as we choose. So we can do 3 to the Ice Giant just to slap him in the face, and 1 to the boss. Boom! We have won. Yay! So yeah, that was Witch Hunter. Quick little game of it. It is very fast. Now, just to show you how the boss would have been on their harder side, they would have 36 life, which isn't that much more, so it would have easily killed them. They would have done 4 damage, which would have mattered for 1 attack. But they don't get this faster. I don't think, I think in Marvel Champions, at some difficulty level, they draw 2 cards per turn. I don't think that's in the rules, but maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed a lot of things. I don't know. Because I will say, so just to get into my final thoughts, my impressions so far, game is very much in development. More so, I would say, than what I covered earlier this week, Awaken the Ancients. Because that one, I think, has been like a PnP game for years, or at least a few years. And is just like a nice new version of it. So this one is fine-tuned to the wazoo. This one is excellent already. This one, I think, needs some more work, and you can kind of see that in the play here, unless I'm getting drastic rules wrong. So if I am, you'll have seen a lot of notes as I played this. But yeah, pretty much every game I've played has been a little bit like this, where I was kind of able to spam damage a little bit too quickly on the bosses without too much coming back to me. So let's talk about why. First of all, unless I'm playing wrong, the encounters are super swingy because sometimes you get a lot of minions. And there are a lot of cards in each character's deck that are minion specific and do cool things with minions. But at least for the bosses they sent me, look at this. In this entire large deck, there are 4 minions out of 20 cards. Now, you do draw more than 1 card sometimes with some of the things that have an immediate draw another effect. But yeah, I don't think I've seen more than maybe 1 or 2 minions in every game I've played. And I kind of feel like there should be more coming out to make those minion effects more interesting, to make it a little bit harder to focus on the boss. But yeah, sometimes a lot of terror comes out and sometimes not. Sometimes the boss does stuff that's really not that bad. Like here, this one just adds 1 terror to each permanent. And that might be a single terror. Might not do very much. So I feel like this deck is a little swingier than I want it to be. And, the designer was saying that he wants to change these draw and others to adding a token, but I'm not sure if that'll work for all the bosses. So the actual boss activation doesn't feel as dangerous or impactful as Marvel Champions, especially at higher difficulties yet, which I think is contributing to you just being able to kind of blast the boss away. The other big thing that I'm not loving in the design so far is that kind of one of the cool ideas of the game is that you're able to mix and match a character and an aspect, but the aspects are clearly 100% designed for specific characters, which is fine. It makes the characters feel much more dynamic and combo-licious. It gives almost like a Sentinels of the Multiverse feel. Like Liza is doing awesome things with those Silent Tactician cards, and she can discard already so much with her deck. But the second you try to mix and match out of those suggested aspects, things get a little weird. Kale's whole thing is that when he takes damage for a turn, he gets coins and his cards all get boosted. And if you use his Crimson Vow aspect, then the Crimson Vow cards are getting bonuses from damage and Kale's cards are getting bonuses from damage. So the second you take one of those out, and let's say I use Crimson Vow with Liza, then suddenly it's way harder to fire off those combos because the aspect cards aren't discarding and benefiting from discards like her cards are, and the Crimson Vow cards are relying on her taking damage in her turn, but she doesn't have consistent ways to deal that damage. And then same thing for Avalyn. She puts tokens down on cards and on the boss. And then her Arcane Veil aspect does cool things when tokens are on things. And then Saren is all about getting coins. But if he doesn't have Alchemical Bulwark, then he won't get as many coins. So it's just a little odd. I don't mind it at all when I'm playing them in the suggested combo. But the second you break out of that, and they're trying to kind of give you 16 combinations of characters here instead of just 4 characters. But it doesn't really feel right. Unless you're trying to make the game harder, which, again, based on how swingy and easy the bosses have been sometimes, maybe you should be. But yeah, I just wish that the aspects were not quite so much using kind of the exact same mechanics as at least some of the characters. Like the Arcane Veil and the Alchemical Bulwark are a little bit different, but certainly Crimson Vow and Silent Tactician are just repeats, basically, of Liza and Kale's abilities. So yeah, if you want, it's not a deck construction game like Marvel Champions, but if you want some of that feeling of deck construction and building your own combos, I don't really think it's here right now, at least in the current build of the game. So that's not that big of a disappointment for me. I actually prefer Sentinels of the Multiverse to Marvel Champions because I like having characters that are unique and have more fun tools. But it's not great. As for the boss variety between the 2 bosses in the game, I think they're pretty different because, again, half the deck will be their own thing. I do find the Mire Eater of Velen way more interesting because he builds up this rot track and it's super nasty. Whereas Bride of the Frost Moon, I don't know. She needs to draw certain cards to even build up her ice track. It seems way too easy to get rid of it. So maybe this was just a bad choice for the first boss I played on the video. But yeah, like the boss design seems cool. I did not get the other two bosses, but I saw in the rulebook some like descriptions of how they work. Like this one guy's putting masks on villagers and like boosting them up and seems to be more minion focused. So I think I would like that, but it's hard to say. The different locations are okay. They seem like you kind of saw how the village can be a little bit annoying if they're not adding enough threat because you just can't do stuff to advance it. And, you know, I don't know if that's meant to slow you from just rushing the boss and trying to kill them, maybe, but it only kind of works. Kaldvik Mount is a little bit more interesting because it makes bosses and minions have +1 damage, so it doesn't prevent the boss from dying, but it just makes you take a ton of damage. And then to flip it, which again, you don't have to do to win, you have to kill minions, and if you kill 4 of them, you draw 2 cards. Although, you know, the negative here is this card might not do much to you if you're not drawing boss attacks or minions. And also, if you're not drawing minions, you can't really flip it. So it just seems a little swingier than like the village, which is already a bit swingy. And then Bog of Halofen is a little bit weird going the other way. Because look, it says for every 6 terror here, the boss gets an additional activation. If you remove 3 or more terror from here in a single round, flip this card. It seems way too easy to do. Like you saw with a single coin and most cards that get rid of 2 terror. If you just wait till this has 3 terror on it, you can get rid of it all and flip it. And then, like, why would you ever let it get to 6 terror before you flip it to give the boss an extra activation? I don't know. So, like, these aren't great yet. I like the game because I like Marvel Champions. Like, it does Marvel Champions stuff in kind of its own way. The characters have fewer attachments than many Marvel Champions characters. Like, a lot of them will have, 5 or 6 unique things to them, like their helpers and people and stuff. I don't miss some of the things from Marvel Champions. Like, I don't mind that I don't have my character's stats and I'm using them once per turn. I don't mind that I'm not flipping people over. By the way, there is another side where you have, like, these potions. If you do, like, little mini goals, you can get boosts. But I don't need the game to be easier, so I don't play with that really yet. But yeah, unless I'm getting a lot of things wrong, this game is a little mixed for me. It seems like it needs a lot of work to be consistently challenging, because even being on the hardest side here, I think I still would have completely walloped the Bride of the Frost Moon. I think the character combos aren't really there yet. I think the locations are a mixed bag. So this just feels like it's much earlier in development, and I don't know how much time they're going to give themselves to get it right. Whereas again, just because, hey, they're kind of inviting the comparisons since there are 2 games launching this month, I think Awaken the Ancients is awesome. Like, fully support getting that. But, if you're coming for a Marvel Champions experience, I don't know if this one's going to excite you. So yeah, mixed results here. I think the game could get great. I still have fun doing what I'm doing on my turns. Certainly the combos are powerful. You saw how much I kicked this guy's butt. But I don't know. It just feels like not enough is happening. Like, maybe the boss should default to drawing 2 cards a turn. I don't know. Or maybe the heroes are just too powerful right now. Like, my games, I will say, my games with Kale have been closer, and my games against the Mire Eater have been closer. So maybe this was just like a bad combo where maybe Liza's too powerful and the Bride of the Frost Moon is too weak. Or again, maybe I'm messing up a rule. But yeah, this is a much more lukewarm game for me at the moment. We'll see how it does during development and stuff. And again, I'll put notes in here if I messed up major rules. But that's it for now. Hope that helps a little bit as y'all consider what you're going to do with this Game Found campaign. And thanks for watching, everybody. Special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.